Hi, sweetie pie. I have another book today. And this one is the same size on the outside, but it's a lot longer because on the inside, every page is a lot of writing. So it'll take longer to read, but that's okay because we have lots of time. The book is called The Black Snowman by Phil Mendez, illustrated by Carole Byard. You know, we always look at the inside. This is pure white. There's nothing else. Sometimes there's designs in here. The Black Snowman. Now, this is a beautiful picture. Somewhere in a lonely grass hut in Western Africa, an aged storyteller prepares for the arrival of the village children. He tells stories of Anansi, the spider, stories of how Anansi's head came to be so small, and of how jealousy came to the Ashanti tribe. The storyteller is ready except for one important thing, a brightly colored kente. As he wraps the cloth around him, his mind transforms into that of a young native. As an old man, he has forgotten the many stories, but when he wears his magic kente, the stories are quick and sharp in his mind. The kente restores his memory. The storytelling ritual continues for many years. Village children grow up, have their own children, and send them to hear and to learn. But one day, the storytelling comes to an end. You know, your mom and I both have a beautiful piece of kente cloth with our names embroidered into it. Um, they're a gift from a friend from Ghana, and we gave him some money for the school that he helps there. And they made us a kente cloth, the children at the school, each of us with our name on it. And my name has 7 letters, and her name, and you know her name has even more letters, and they did it anyway. So we'll show you that. But for now, back to the story. This is there's a kente cloth around the guy's shoulders. These pictures are darker, but you can still see a little bit of the cloth. Invaders capture the villagers and seize their property. The prisoners are loaded into ships that cross a vast ocean to the continent called America, where the African people are sold into slavery. The magic kente is sold too. It passes through generations even after slavery is no more. 1,000 uses fray its delicate threads until it is discarded as a useless rag. But it still possesses the magic. It still has wonders to perform. Jacob Miller always woke up late on Saturday mornings, but not today. When his eyes opened, his heart was beating rapidly. He did not remember his dream, but it must have been a bad one. He felt frightened and very angry. Jacob reached out to turn on the light. Let's see if I can hold it this way. On the base of the lamp, a cowboy swung a lasso that formed a trimming for the bottom of the shade. The cowboy's left hand was chipped, the lasso torn. The boy who owned that lamp for the very first time would be an old man by now. Jacob would have chosen a lamp with robots or space warriors, but like everything else he owned, the lamp was old and well used. It made Jacob furious just to look at it. Jacob dressed quickly and followed delicious breakfast smells coming from the kitchen. His younger brother Pee-wee was standing beside their mother at the stove. "Can we go Christmas shopping today?" Pee-wee asked. Well, not today, Mama said. Not today or any day, Jacob interrupted. Poor folks like us can't afford Christmas. Now, Jacob, Mama spoke, trying to smooth over the hurt she saw rushing into Pee-wee's eyes. Maybe we won't go shopping together, but I know there's going to be presents. Sure, said Jacob. Maybe we'll get some old socks from that well-known clothes store, the Salvation Army. Jacob's bitter words mocked his mother. Hurt, she yelled back at him. Don't you ever talk like that in this house, ever. Do you hear me, Jacob? Please don't fight, Pee-wee cried. Mama, Jacob's sorry. You know what I find amazing? How an artist can take a few colored uh, crayons or pastel sort of crayons and a blank piece of paper and make with a few things. It's not many details, but he conveys a whole scene. You feel like you know this kitchen. You can almost smell what's cooking. You can see the pain on her face and the fatigue and the worry. You can see the little boy wanting things to be okay, and you can see the bigger boy so frustrated with the way things are in life. You can see that the kitchen's not terribly bright. There aren't any big windows. You can see that she's in her slippers and doing the best she can. And all of that started out as a blank piece of paper. And actually, a story in a book is the same way too. Started out as blank pieces of paper before somebody came up, created it, and the artist created the pictures to go with it. It's pretty cool. But Jacob wasn't sorry, for this scene was repeated at least once a week. The words were not always the same, but the hurt was the same. Jacob walked away and sat quietly on the same stool he always sat on. He held his head in his hands, then stared out the kitchen window, holding back his tears. Nothing was said as Mama mixed and poured pancake batter into the skillet. Jacob knew his mother was waiting for an apology, but he couldn't speak to her. Mama stumbled over her words. I know it's hard on you, son. We're just going through some rough times now, but... Jacob broke down in a rage. I hate being black. I hate it. A chill ran down Mama's back as if her spine were a huge icicle. Being black ain't got nothing to do with it, son. Everything black is bad, Jacob repeated words he'd heard others say. You ever hear of the Black House? No, but there's a White House. A white tornado cleans your sink. A black one destroys your house. And how about fairy tales? It's the white knight who wins, the black one who loses. Good magic is white. Black magic is bad. That's nonsense, Jacob, Mama answered. Those are just tired old words I've been hearing since I was a girl. She's right about that. I've heard those arguments for a very long time. Those examples. Pee-wee tugged at his mother's skirt. Mama, not now, Pee-wee, Mama said, staring sadly at her older son. Pee-wee tried again. Mama. Shh, Mama said, but as she turned around, she noticed smoke rising from the pan. She looked inside and started to laugh. Pee-wee laughed too. What's so funny? Jacob asked. That is, she said. The man in the pan. There's no man in there, said Jacob, just a black pancake. Child, you have no imagination. Still laughing, Mama bustled about the kitchen until her masterpiece was complete. She gave the pancake man 2 Cheerios for eyes and a sausage for a mouth. Jacob tried to hold back a smile but could not. He laughed so hard he felt ready to burst. Mama tickled Jacob, then both boys tickled her back, and they all found themselves on the kitchen floor. Mama doubled over, Jacob and Pee-wee kicking their feet in the air. Do you think our pancake man is happy being black? Jacob asked. Why, of course. Happy ain't got no color, said Mama. Then Jacob's laughter dissolved as quickly as it had come. This is dumb, he said, as he grabbed his coat and walked out the door. I wanted just to show you this part where it's kind of like these bold drawing parts came over the side into the other page. I like this book. The morning air was crispy cool. Patches of white snow winked brightly between puddles of gray, foot-worn slush. Horns honked at children who aimed their snowballs at buses and trucks. Jacob stepped out into a battle. 2 snowballs exploded on either side of him. He jumped out into the battlefield, dodged a few missiles, snowballs, then retreated out back where he could sit on the cellar door and be alone. But it was no use. Pee-wee was already on his trail. "What do you want?" Jacob asked. "I just want to play with my big brother," said Pee-wee. "Let's build a snowman." "We can't build a snowman," Jacob snapped. "Just look at that snow. It's watery and black from all the people trampling on it." "Then we'll make a black snowman," said Pee-wee. "A black snowman," Jacob sighed. "Just what I've always wanted." But in a way, maybe it is. These are beautiful drawings. Sketches with probably pastel. They call them pastels even though they don't have to be pastel colors because these are dark, somber colors. And then the bright green and the blue. Jacob watched as Pee-wee packed the snow with his small hands. "At the rate you're going, you won't be done till spring," Jacob said. With Jacob's help, the work went quickly. The harder Jacob worked, the better he felt. "This black snowman sure could use some dressing up," he suggested. It was Pee-wee's job to pick through the trash to find a wardrobe. Steel wool for hair, buttons for eyes, and a funny old hat. Pee-wee looked at their snowman proudly, but Jacob had a more critical eye. "Something's missing," he said. "Like what?" "Like it's cold out here. Find him something to wear on his shoulders." Pee-wee returned to the trash where a colorful cloth caught his eye. "Look at this," Pee-wee said as he held up the cloth for his brother to see. "Nah," Jacob scowled. "Don't use that. It doesn't go with the rest of him. Find something else." "Well, I like it," Pee-wee said. Let's see if I can get it without the glare. "And I'm going to use it." Pee-wee carefully draped the cloth around the snowman's lumpy body. The old... Oh, I'm going long. Though old and torn, the cloth began to come alive again with powers passed down through many generations. Pee-wee had discovered the magic Kenti. "Now he's perfect," Pee-wee said. Jacob looked at the sooty snowman in his tattered hat and shawl. He felt sad and angry at the same time. "A black snowman," Jacob said. "Is that ugly?" "Who are you calling ugly?" The boys looked around, but saw no one. "Who said that?" Jacob asked. "I did. Over here." "It's our snowman," said Pee-wee, skipping with delight. "Our snowman can talk." Jacob stared suspiciously. The snowman picked up Pee-wee and lifted him high. "Well, look here," said the snowman. "A little one who still believes." The snowman picked up Pee-wee. The snowman put Pee-wee down again, and they danced. "We have to go," said Jacob. Can I interject here to say that If I had built a snowman and I put a cloth on it, even if I didn't know about Kente cloth, even if I didn't know about the magic, if a snowman started to dance and talk and pick up my little brother, I think the last thing I would say is, "We have to go." But that's just me. As your mom knows, that's not my first words ever. The snowman led his partner toward Jacob. "But you haven't danced yet," said the snowman. "Why, it's downright impolite not to dance with a new friend." "You're no friend of mine," Jacob said. The snowman walked around Jacob. He pressed his glove to Jacob's forehead and squinted his eyes in concentration. We're going to sign off here and resume this another time. Okie dokie. I love you, sweetie pie. Should I read one more page? I will, just so I don't sign off abruptly. But wherever we sign off in a story like this, it's a bit abrupt because we want to see what happens. The snowman walked around Jacob. He pressed his glove to Jacob's forehead and squinted his eye in concentration. The snowman's color changed from gray to pink, to red, yellow, and blue, and finally to solid black. It was as if all the colors in space had painted themselves onto his body. He opened his eyes wide as if he had made a sudden discovery. "So black is bad, huh?" said the snowman. "That's right," Jacob said. "What is more important in a book, the white pages, the black words, or the message the book holds?" "Huh?" Jacob looked puzzled. "The heavens are black, and the universe is held in it," the snowman said. "Should we call the earth bad because it is cradled in blackness?" Jacob didn't know what to say. The snowman continued. "Have you sat at the table of your forefathers? Have you accepted the shield of courage they have passed along to you?" Jacob hesitated. He didn't know what this crazy snowman was talking about. And that's where we'll sign off. And I can't wait to come back to it later. The Black Snowman by Phil Mendez. Illustrated by Carole Byard. I love you, sweetie pie. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back soon. Bye bye, sweetie. I love you so much.